Well, that wraps up the discussion.
Finally! With this, I can lead a happy, wealthy life with you, Leo. As for you, you can just keep struggling with your frugal lifestyle. You poor person.
Poor person? What do you mean, Nadia?
But if you break up, won't Monica, the housewife, be left with nothing? Then it'll be humble living for her, won't it?
Why would Monica be left with nothing? I'm the homemaker, you know.
Huh? What do you mean?
My name is Monica. I'm a 37-year-old owner of a company. My husband Leo and I have been married for about 6 months. We met through a dating app. I've been so focused on my work that I haven't had any time for a romance at all. Since my student days, I haven't had a boyfriend for quite some time. I worked as an employee, became deeply engrossed in my job, and then became obsessed with expanding my company after starting my own business. So before I knew, feeling like it was time to get married, I started using a dating app introduced to me by a friend. That's where I got to know Leo through exchanging messages, and we hit it off. He had this refreshing aura about him, and talking to him was incredibly smoothing. He had a domestic side and was amazingly skilled at cooking. Just having him at home, preparing meals and waiting for me, brought me a sense of comfort. Realizing this, I proposed to him. He was surprised at the unexpected reverse proposal, but he also seemed to like me and agreed. And just like that, we suddenly decided to get married. And so I thought our newlywed life was going well. My husband quit his job to become a homemaker and supported me. His cooking was delicious, and I looked forward to coming home every day. On weekends, we spent leisurely time together, watching movies or doing whatever we pleased. We were enjoying happy days. But one day, a presence emerged that threatened our happiness. It was a woman named Nadia, my husband's childhood friend. Apparently, Nadia had recently divorced and had reached out to my husband. She expressed a desire to go out for drinks or on a date, and she kept inviting him repeatedly. So instead of secretly meeting with her, my husband decided to invite her over for dinner with me, his wife. While I was initially shocked by his decision, I appreciated that he didn't sneak around with her. However, when I met her in person, I suddenly became overwhelmed with anxiety. She seemed overly excited when she came to our house.
Wow, what a beautiful home! Leo, you live in a place like this? You must be quite a success.
No, this is all thanks to Monica.
Your humility hasn't changed, huh? It's impressive seeing childhood friends succeed like this.
Saying so, Nadia suddenly clung to my husband's arm. I was startled and froze in place. Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry. It's just a habit of mine. We've always been close since childhood, with lots of this kind of physical contact.
Nadia said with a laugh, but there seemed to be some hostility towards me. I thought she was dangerous. And even after that, Nadia frequently came to our house.
I'm here to see Leo. What's wrong with coming to see a childhood friend?
Even if they were childhood friends, they were opposite sex. It's strange for her to come over so frequently. But Nadia kept coming over multiple times after that. Moreover, it seems she's coming over when I'm not home due to work. I asked my husband to stop Nadia from coming, but Nadia, who's divorced and emotionally hurt, said she finds healing by talking to my husband. So my husband couldn't ignore the request of his childhood friend, Nadia. I felt more and more frustrated. He is a kind-hearted husband, and I thought it was typical of him to act that way for Nadia. But still, it's a mixed-sex interaction, so you never know what might happen. One day, the thing I feared happened. When I returned from work, My husband and Nadia were waiting for me. As always, Nadia was about to leave when I came back. But that day, she said she had something to talk about and was standing next to my husband. What on earth is going on? Monica, please divorce me. Huh? So we've reached that point?
Well, we ended up in that kind of relationship, haha.
What? Nadia grinned as she said that. It seemed the two of them had an affair. So it's come to this, huh? Sorry, Monica. I can't leave her alone. I understand. I can't continue our marriage either. It's impossible to stay with someone who's had an affair. My husband, due to his kind nature, got involved with his childhood friend. But it was all part of our plan. I understand that well. Nadia had a triumphant expression as she clung to my husband's arm.
I'm sorry I ended up taking your husband, but the one who should truly be with Leo is me. Can you please go somewhere else, you bothersome parasite?
Parasite? She seemed to be misunderstanding something, but I'll refrain from saying it deliberately. Yes, I need some time to think. I'll stay at a hotel, but we'll discuss property division and alimony properly. Let's talk with lawyers another day. Nadia looked uncomfortable when I said this, but seemed to reluctantly agree when my husband agreed. I packed the necessary items into my suitcase and left the house. For the first time in a while, I stayed in a suite at a luxury hotel and at least managed to relieve the exhaustion from my mind and body. As I was leisurely taking a bath, my phone rang. I ignored it, wondering who it could be, but even after getting out of the bath, the calls continued. Looking at the call history, it was my mother-in-law. I sighed as I looked at the screen. What on earth it could be? Just when I was starting to feel relaxed in the suite, my mood sank again. And since the calls didn't stop, I reluctantly answered the phone. Hello? Ah, finally you picked up. Heard the news. Leo finally dumped you? Huh? Dumped me? It's not like he dumped me. There's no need to act tough. It must be tough to suddenly fall into poverty, right? But it's your own fault. Living a pauper's life suits someone like you. What on earth my mother-in-law saying? Living a pauper's life? But don't you think beans and toast are delicious? Well, if you think so, then that's fine, isn't it? I couldn't bear it for sure. Why did you call anyway? What? It's obvious. I called to mock you, isn't it? Oh, in that case, can I hang up now? What are you saying? No, you can't. This call is meant to give you some advice, among other things. Advice? That's right. Stay away from us at all costs. Nadia and Leo make a perfect couple. It's not right to let someone like you interfere. Wait, are you also in on this, Mom? What do you mean by that? I'm asking if you're behind Nadia's frequent visit and her advances towards Leo. Well, who knows? I just said Nadia and Leo are a good match. I didn't do anything else, though. This was clearly Nadia and my mother-in-law's plan, and my husband fell right into their trap. He is to blame for being deceived, too. At least now I know my mother-in-law's involvement. I thought she was unpleasant. It wasn't just my misconception. She truly is unpleasant. Please rest assured, I won't interfere with you and Nadia anymore. Once the discussion about compensation and such is over, I won't ever see you again. You said it, right? It's a promise, you know. I recorded it. Yes, I don't mind. What are you laughing at? It seems you don't understand your position. You've been abandoned by Leo and you're on the verge of poverty. You really can't do simple calculations, can you? I got tired of dealing with it, so I hung up the phone and I blocked my mother-in-law's number. It's a shame to waste the luxury suite time. Feeling quite upset, I extended my stay for one more night, and just to be safe, I also blocked my husband's number. This way, I could relax without any bothersome calls. Then I was able to go back to work in a relaxed state and leave the whole divorce thing to my lawyer. A week later, the divorce discussion with my husband, with a lawyer present, took place. It seemed Nadia tagged along forcibly, keeping an eye on me to see if I made any strange demands. Well then, let's begin the discussion. Monica's demands include property division and compensation. The breakdown of the property division is roughly this much, and the compensation will be this amount. As the lawyer handed over the documents, Nadia snatched them away.
Hold on a second. You're taking 30% of property division? Don't be ridiculous. I'm not giving you that much.
Huh? I think this is reasonable for a married couple. Yeah, I think so too.
Leo, is it okay for you to be this nice? She's even demanding compensation, you know, and asking for $30,000 each. Isn't that absurd?
I think that's reasonable according to the market. Well, yeah.
Leo, is it okay for you to just obey her like this?
It's not just obedience. I caused Monica quite a bit of trouble, so I need to take responsibility. I'll also cover the compensation for you, Nadia.
Well, if that's the case...
Nadia seemed dissatisfied, but she seemed to reluctantly agree for the time being. Well, that wraps the discussion.
Finally! With this, I will be able to enjoy a happy, wealthy life with you, Leo. As for you, you can just keep struggling with your frugal lifestyle, you poor person.
Huh? Poor person? Nadia, what do you mean by that?
Well, once you two split up, Monica, the stay-at-home wife, will be left with nothing, right? So she'll end up living in poverty.
Why would Monica have nothing? I'm the homemaker, not her.
Huh? What do you mean? Aren't you the CEO of a company and living in that penthouse?
What have you been saying this whole time? Monica is the CEO. I'm the homemaker, and we're the ones who have to live in poverty.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean? But your mom said you're a member of the elite with a high income.
Mom did? Oh, she must have misunderstood all along. But Monica, you've explained it to her countless times, haven't you?
Yes, every time I was told not to tell silly lies despite being a stay-at-home mom. Your mom has extremely outdated values. She's the type who believes it's impossible for women to succeed in their careers. So I always thought we fundamentally couldn't understand each other.
Yeah, I think my mom's views are pretty outdated too.
Wait a minute. So you really were paying for the rent of the penthouse?
Yes, that's right.
What are you exactly?
I'm the CEO of Glow Cosmetics.
What? The famous cosmetics company?
Oh, you know it well.
Well, it's often recommended in magazines and by influencers.
That's nice to hear. We've worked hard.
Isn't being the CEO of that company a big deal at your age?
Well, it's about $200 million, I suppose.
$200 million? I can't even imagine.
Well, something like that. But more importantly, the penthouse is under my name, so Leo will have to leave.
Wait a minute. What about the division of property? Isn't that penthouse a shared asset of the couple?
Unfortunately, I bought that apartment when I was single, so it's completely mine. Also, I've been covering all living expenses so far. Leo has been doing household chores at home all this time. So, the division of property and compensation will be exactly as discussed earlier.
I don't want to accept that.
I thought I would become wealthy. Nadia, please give up on that. But I'll take responsibility and be there for you properly. Why did it have to end up like this? Nadia was shocked. Well, it seemed she was aiming for the jackpot, so not getting what she wanted must be a big disappointment. But since she's the one who caused the breakdown of my marriage with Leo, I don't have any sympathy for her. In fact, it's good riddance. And so, with the negotiation ending like this, my husband and I decided to fill out divorce papers and proceed with the divorce. So, thanks for everything up to now. Yeah, take care. He wasn't a bad person, but once the infidelity happened, forgiveness wasn't an option. We ended up going our separate ways. A month later, Nadia suddenly showed up at my company. She was causing a scene at the reception, demanding to see the CEO. I figured it was disturbing others, so I directed her to the CEO's office. Nadia looked disheveled, with messy hair, dirty clothes, and no makeup, clearly worn out. What's going on? We have nothing left to discuss. My life is a mess because of you. How is that my fault? Because I thought Leo was rich, but you didn't explain properly, so I ended up with just another unemployed guy. Leo says he's going to take responsibility, but he's making me work just because being a homemaker suits him, you know. I wanted to be a housewife too. Thanks to you, I'm working multiple part-time jobs. I see. And why is the property division so little? Well, that's because I subtracted your compensation. What? Nadia seemed to understand when I explained this. Because Leo and I had only been married for a year, I deducted property distribution from a year's income and subtracted compensation accordingly. Then you understand that only that much remains, right? When I said that, Nadia seemed at a loss for words. But if you only had asserted yourself more as the CEO. Leo seemed to have explained it properly, though. I didn't think it was true. Isn't it your responsibility for not believing him? Ugh, why are you so condescending? Well, I'm the CEO, you know. I'll write online about how you're a snobbish, terrible CEO. Are you trying to threaten me? I'll take legal action for defamation and slander. Even if that happens, I think your money will disappear again. Fine, I'm done. You have no idea what it's like to suffer as the underdog. I don't want to be told about suffering by someone who would take someone else's husband just because he was a childhood friend and she was close to his mother. Ugh. I made eye contact with my secretary. The secretary nodded and immediately called the security guards. Nadia was escorted out of the company by the security guards. Who would have thought she'd barge into the company like that? She truly lacks common sense. And then, 2 weeks later, another person lacking common sense barged into the company. This one was on a larger scale. I heard they were shouting at the reception just like Nadia, so this time I headed straight to the lobby. Letting them into the CEO's office would be too risky with my mother-in-law. So I decided to talk in the lobby, where the security guards could handle it quickly. What is it? Let me in the CEO's office. That's not possible. It's too risky with you here. What's that supposed to mean, you insolent daughter-in-law? I'm not your daughter-in-law anymore. I'm divorced. Ugh, shut up. I'm just trying to be clear. You're so cheeky. You've always looked down on me. It's you who's been looking down on me. You've been telling everyone I'm a housewife, while Leo works as an elite businessman. It's your fault not explaining properly, isn't it? But I did explain, didn't I? Stop talking back. I told you to be more attentive. You're saying the same things as Nadia. You two really are alike.
That woman barely earns anything. She's useless.
Even though she is juggling multiple part-time jobs? That's really unfortunate.
Enough! You should cover our living expenses for causing us trouble with your lack of explanation.
Why should I have to do that? Besides, what about his dad? My father-in-law worked and should have been receiving a decent pension.
That person. Because of this incident, he said he wants a divorce.
So he finally found his courage to say he's falling out of love.
Stop being so blunt. Don't say it so clearly.
If it's the truth, then it can't be helped.
We're in trouble. Please help us.
Eventually, my mother-in-law resorted to tears. But such tactics wouldn't sway me. I'm sorry, but you'll have to give up. If this persists, I'll have to consult the police as it's hindering business operations.
The police? Are you a monster? After I begged you for so much help.
That's too convenient. You were the one pushing for us to separate.
I'll apologize. Please, I'm truly sorry.
Ultimately, my mother-in-law even resorted to kneeling. But I absolutely couldn't forgive her. So, I called the security guards to escort my mother-in-law out of the company. Later, my ex-husband sent an apology email and assured me that Nadia and my ex-mother-in-law wouldn't show up at the company again. Well, even if they did, I wouldn't hesitate to involve the police. Seems like my ex-husband, Nadia, and my ex-mother-in-law are living together. But my ex-husband isn't working, and Nadia and my ex-mother-in-law seem to be reckless with money, making their lives quite difficult. Well, it's none of my business, but I think it serves them right if they're going through a tough time. Meanwhile, I continue to devote myself to my work, diligently protecting and expanding the company. I hope to continue working hard for the sake of my employees and making the company even bigger in the future. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.